In this video, we're going to look at the project management capabilities of the cost calculator. We're going to start by going into the sales order view. And within the sales order view, we're going to bring up a subview called project management view. And subviews are just groupings of information that are pertinent to a specific task you want to perform, in this case project management. So we opened up the project management view, and down here we're going to go out and select all of the sales orders which are tied to a specific project. In this case it's going to be the Westmore plant project. So we type that in and we come out and we hit refresh, and the system goes out and brings back sales order 72. And we also notice that sales order 72 has multiple line items, line item 1 and 2, all tied to the Westmore plant project. From there we can see that we have two line items, a WF201G and a WF201B. We also see some other information, generic information about these particular sales order line items. We see the product class. We also see the job number. Now the job number 57 in this case actually has subjobs underneath it, but when we look at it in the sales order view, we're rolling up all of the cost, all of the hours, all of the project management detail of job 57 and any of its children jobs into one line item. So this is kind of our 30,000 foot view of looking at the project overall. We see that the project is due, or this particular line item on the project is due on 6/17/2011. We see the quantity, and then we start to get into some columns for our project management statistics. So we see our estimated hours that we're looking at. So we've estimated for job 57 and all of its children jobs underneath it 7 hours and 47 minutes or 7.47 minutes. We've actually applied 3.62 hours of actual time, and so we have a remaining time of 3.85 hours. So right there we see how we're doing on this project overall. We also see it from a cost standpoint. When we look at the job estimate, we're seeing our estimated cost. The estimated cost is built upon the job bill of material and routing. And so this cost is built from job 57 and all of its children jobs underneath it to build up a cost of $1,715, and our actual cost applied to job 57 or any of its children jobs is $699 at this particular point in time. Now from there you're obviously going to want to see some more detail. Again, we're just kind of at the high level here. From there we're going to just go out and we're going to right click on that particular job, and we're going to use our drill downs. So we're going to drill down into the job view. And when I drill down into the job view, what we see is we've just taken job 57 and broken it out into its children jobs. And right off the top we see that there's 3 sub-jobs underneath job 57. Well, when we actually see that there's some additional levels here. When we expand sub-job 1 down here, we're going to see that sub-job 1 actually has a child job of sub-job 4. So one of the things that's really neat about this particular view, the job view multi-level, is that you're always going to be looking at your jobs in the parent-child relationship. So you're always going to see that sub-job 4 went into sub-job 1, which into 000. If you had 200 sub-jobs out there, you would see all of those sub-jobs not by sub-job number as you do within the standard system. You're going to see it based on the parent-child hierarchy. In addition, when you're looking at your values and your numbers out here, for example, estimated hours, you're going to see those rolled up to the subassembly level. So when we look at subjob 4, we see that it had an estimated hours of 2.55 hours. In addition, subjob 1 had an estimate of 0.33, so the total estimate for subjob 1, including all of its children jobs, was 2.88 hours. In addition, the cost worked the same way. So my actual cost so far applied to subjob 1, this blade assembly, and all of its children jobs is $404. So it's a really nice view on seeing not only the roll-ups by subassembly, but you also get to see the dependencies. You know now that job 4 is a feeder job for job 1. So if something's holding up job 1, you can see, well, we don't have subjob 4 done. Well, subjob 4 just happens to be in a completed status now, so we should be able to go out there and get that information and make sure that it gets applied and gets out to subjob 1. So it's a real nice view of seeing the dependencies of the different jobs in relationship to them, and that's something you really miss in the standard package. In addition, we also see these different colors out here. Right away, we're notified basically where we have problems. So we see some reds out here, and there's little progress indicators or performance indicators that you as a user can determine to set it up when it's outside a specific tolerance. So I've got one set up right now that's comparing the actual cost to the estimated cost, and when it's outside a particular tolerance, turn it red, and that's what we're seeing. So we've got a problem on these particular jobs. Again, we come in here, you zoom in on the job, and it tells you right where you may have a problem within this job structure where you need to look. From there, we may want to look at it. We're looking at it by jobs now, but let's look at it. I want to look at just the material components of this job. So when I right click on that, I bring up the material view. What the material view is showing me is the bill of material for not only the parent subjob or the parent job, which we see here, but it's also showing me the bill of material for any subjobs underneath it. So here we have the subjob 1, and underneath subjob 1 we see subjob 4, and we see the bills of material accordingly. So again, we're protecting that parent-child relationship wherever we look at the information in here. We're always seeing the job dependencies in the parent-child relationship. So we see down here that we had some steel issued to subjob 4. It was a stock component, okay, and it was issue completed. Completely. We have an estimated quantity of 20, and we actually used 30. So this is turning yellow. Again, we have a performance indicator out there that's saying, okay, when my actual is above my estimate by a certain tolerance, turn it colors. And when it's yellow and red, it means that it's really far off. Okay, red's a little bit off. Yellow and red is really off. So again, as we come into each of these views, we're notified right away of where our problems may exist. So we come out here and we see that we've overissued on this particular subjob. We want to go out and find out why. When we look up to subjob 1 above it, we see we have a purchased item, a buy to order item, and we also see that the PO 75 has been created for this particular job, and it's also been invoiced from accounts payable standpoint. We needed 10 of these, okay, and we estimated this $210, but we've only actually received 6 pieces of this in, okay, for a total of $270. So here we have another problem. We estimated $210 for 10 pieces. We've only received 6, so we've got another 4 pieces to receive, yet our costs are above our estimate already, and we haven't even received all the pieces yet. Likewise, down here we see that this is another stock component that's been issued complete. We needed 10, and we actually used 10. This view will actually show me everything that went into this particular job, even if it wasn't on the job bill of material. So if we had miscellaneous issues to the job, they would appear in here. And again, we're looking at this thing from a structure standpoint of the whole bill of material. As I expand to each of these levels, we see the whole bill of material for subjob or for job 57 and all of its children jobs. Now, another difficult thing that's somewhat difficult to get out of Made2Manage is a report, a quick and easy listing of all the materials that are used on the job and their statuses. Every screen that I open within the cost calculator, you'll see a print and export. So we can simply come out here and print this screen. We're going to print the job materials. We're just going to do a print preview here. Let me maximize that for you. And it simply prints out the grid for you in a nice clean format. So here we have our job material list, including all of our subjobs in the parent-child relationship and their statuses. So this is a nice report that you could hand to a project manager out there, and he can start expediting these things and say, hey, why haven't these been issued? Why haven't we received these other 4 pieces? So he's got something real nice and neat and clean to go to see where this particular project stands. Closing out of this, I'm back to the job view. We have that same capability within the labor view, looking at the routings. I'm going to click on the labor view, and again we see the routing not just for subjob 000, but we see the routings for all of the children jobs as well again in that parent-child relationship. So we see the routing for subjob 4, which goes into subjob 1. We see its routing, and we see the routing for the parent job 000. In addition, we're seeing estimated hours. Our estimated dollar amounts is the estimated total, our actual hours, and our actual total. Again, we have performance indicators out here highlighting where we've got problems. Again, I don't have to hunt for this information. It's telling me. We can further filter if you have a lot of work centers out there, operations that you want to check, or some people like to say, hey, we'll filter this out for just showing me the engineering operations. I can click that and just see the cost and total hours that I have for all my engineering operations, again, at any step and any level of the product structure. Coming back out, we're back to the job view. Our last drill down is a subcontracting drill down, which would just bring up that same type of information, but just for our subcontracting operations. So again, it would show me purchase orders that are out there, whether they've been received, how much has been shipped, how much has been received back, have they been invoiced from accounts payable. Closing that, we're back at the job view. Closing that, we come back to the sales order view to our 30,000 foot level, and really in a real short amount of time, without going anywhere else, without running any other reports in the system, we've drilled into this particular line item on this particular project and found out everything there is really to know about that project from one clean screen.